Hi everyone, I am Shubhrika and today we are here with Marylyn Mumbua, a friend, an architect. I must say she's very intelligent and together with that she is artistic too, isn't it?
Yes, thank you, Shubhrika.
Mumbua, you're a Rotarian, my friend, an architect. Definitely you are doing so many things together, isn't it?
Yeah.
Let me introduce you to her. Marilyn is a trained architect and a construction project manager. She has worked extensively within the East African region on diverse construction projects, ranging from hospitality to administrative buildings. She has worked on projects in Kenya, Somalia, Uganda, Rwanda, and Uganda. Besides running a private practice, she has a keen interest in people and policy. This has led her to volunteer on several organizations in order to have a direct contribution to the construction sector in Kenya by influencing policy. Marilyn has been a volunteer with YMCA as well, and currently she is serving as the honorary secretary at the Architectural Association of Kenya and now hoping to be a president.
Yes.
So, Marilyn, how has your journey been in the field of construction?
My journey has been good, I would say. If I can start from how I came into construction, I took a degree in architecture at the Jomo Kenyatta University of Agriculture and Technology. In our days, architecture was not really done by many girls.
Yeah,
Yes, it was mostly men. It was considered a career for the men. But I find it very interesting because since before I had an interest in art and I had an interest in science, and I wondered how could I bring these two together.
Yeah.
And so when we were in high school, somebody mentioned architecture, and when we filled out those forms that you fill to go to university, I filled out architecture. And so I got into architecture, and then it took us 6 years, the degree. And after that, I was confident I had made the right decision. So during our training, normally you have internship and you go into the field and you work and you get to experience what is done in the construction industry. So then after I did my degree, my undergraduate, we were lucky because in 2011, when we graduated, the constitution had just been promulgated, the 2010 constitution, and so the counties and all that was starting to come into formation, and so there was a lot of work. So off I went to Mombasa. I got my first job was in Mombasa, and so I worked there for a while, and then I thought
So it was like a holiday. Huh?
Yes,
Mombasa beaches and work together.
it was very good because the 6 years were very hard. So when I got the job, I thought, aha, I can rest and work at the same time. Yeah. So I worked in Mombasa for a bit, and then I thought it would be good maybe to pursue a master's. So then I came back to Nairobi, and I enrolled at the University of Nairobi for a master's in construction project management. When I was in Mombasa, my boss, he used to send me a lot to site, to see the ongoing work. And I realized that I liked that part of the work, managing the actual construction. So then I decided to formalize it. I came back, I enrolled at University of Nairobi, and I did my master's in construction project management. Meanwhile, you have to work also to support yourself. So I had left the job in Mombasa, and I got another job in Nairobi. So then I worked in that job for a while, and then came the 2013 elections. And what happens in the construction industry is that it goes up and down, depending on what is happening in the country. So I think there wasn't much work, and since I was the last person into the firm, last one in, first one out, when there wasn't a lot of work, then one day my boss calls me into the office and he says, "We need to have a conversation." So we had a conversation, and so that time I was out of a job. Yeah, but thankfully, not so long after that, I was able to get my third job, and then so that was just almost in the area of Westlands. The offices are almost next to each other. And that one again opened my
Yeah, I
eyes.
remember when we met first, you said that this area is quite familiar to you. Yeah?
Yes,
Westlands is really close to your heart. I know that.
it is. It is. So yeah. So then I think that has built up into the years of experience that I have. Eventually, I got out of employment, and because I realized the only way to really make a difference is to share some of the knowledge that you had, I applied for a job at the university to teach the students, and so I got into the university. You have to do your teaching, then you have to do your research, and you have to do your practice, because practice is what keeps you engaged and active. So yeah, that's how my journey has been. That is how I found myself doing the things that I do.
Tell us something about yourself as a person. You're a mom. How difficult it is to cope up in both the fields of profession and personal life.
All right. So you're a mom as well, so I know you, you understand. I'm a mother of two.
Yeah.
Um, they're
And they're so cute kids. Let me tell you, I met her son, and he is super cute. He can talk endlessly. I think he's going to be a leader of Kenya. I'm very sure.
I hope so. I hope so. So yes, being a mom and having to practice and make a living, it takes a lot of balance. And what I have found is that you need to concentrate to put yourself in the space that you're in at that moment. So if it is time to be at home, to be a wife and a mother, then you concentrate and you're there all the time. You're with your children, you spend maximum time with them. I don't bring work home at all. But then also when you're in the office, I found that being a parent or being committed in the family, it helps you to commit yourself to the office seriously, so that the time that you have at work, you're able to execute just the things that you need to execute in the time that you have. I've heard this saying, I don't know whether you've heard it, Shubhrika, that if you want anything done, give it to a busy person.
And they find out the smarter ways to do it.
Yes, the
Yeah.
smarter, the faster, the more
Faster.
efficient ways to do it. Yeah, so that's how I've handled it.
Yeah.
I keep them separate and I dedicate myself fully in whichever I am handling.
Yeah. So you're doing a wonderful job.
Thank
I
you.
think even being a secretary of AAK is a big thing. And secretary is a person who does a lot.
Yes.
As a president, you just enjoy the leisures. But being a secretary is not easy for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's and what values, are there which actually guide your life? Just tell us something.
I would say number one is being committed, so that whatever it is you set out to do, you commit yourself fully to it. You make sure that you're in 100%. You give your time, you give your resources, and then you get the work done that you said that you would do. The other thing I find that is my value is that you need to pay it forward. In society, we don't make ourselves. We have the people that are around us, the people that help us to become who we become, the people that teach us, the people we teach. So being able to contribute to the society is one of the values that I hold dearly. And so, Shubhrika, we are Rotarians. And that is why, in fact, I am a member of the Rotary, a member of the YMCA, because I like to give back to the community. You can amass so much knowledge, so much wealth, so much, but does it matter at the end of the day if you're not able to share it with other people? Another one is integrity. When you say you're going to do something, you do that thing, and you just don't do it because you're doing it, but you do it well. So excellence, it translates to excellence. And I think at the university where I teach, I keep telling my students, you have one shot at this, to be a student. So then just give it your all and see what comes of it. Yeah. So those, I would say, are the values that drive me. Of course, there are the ones of integrity and so on. I am a Christian. I'm a Catholic. People joke a lot about, just how Catholics are and how strict they are. But I have found that those values that are instilled in you as a child, as you're growing up, religious values, they help you to become a professional of integrity, a professional that is able to carry their work and deliver to their clients. So those are my values in a nutshell.
Oh, I admire you as a person, and definitely you carry such good values. I'm very sure that you need all of them as a president for sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So, when you're a president of an association,
Yeah.
it means that you get to interact with very many different kinds of stakeholders,
Very
from your
true.
members to the other people in the industry, government to influence policy. So, you really need to be able to balance the interests, at the same time maintaining your integrity and understanding why is it that I began to do the things that I'm doing, because I'm sure there are many situations that can be, compromising. There are many situations where you need to make ethical decisions, and so those values come into play at that point.
So tell us something about AAK and your bid for the presidency.
Right. So AAK is the Architectural Association of Kenya. It is the leading built environment professional association, I would say, in the East African region. I started my journey in AAK in 2013, actually. So when I came back to Nairobi to pursue my master's, there's also a requirement for you after you graduate to sit your professional examinations. And one of the things you have to do is to join a professional association. And so, I don't like to do things halfway. When I got into AK, I said, why not even pursue a position where I can be impactful? And so I started at the architects chapter of the association. And almost immediately when I got in as a member, I became the assistant secretary of the chapter. And so that way I was able to see firsthand, what happens, how do we impact policy, how do we advocate for people. And so I grew in the association over the years. I was surprised to realize now it's 10 years of being in the association.
Oh, and
So
as a secretary, how many years?
as a secretary, 4 years.
4 years. So
Yes.
you have got a good experience.
Yes, I would
Yeah.
say I have good experience in the
And this
association.
tenure is how many years?
The tenure of the presidency
Yeah.
is 2 years.
2 years. So
Yes.
you have been selected as a secretary for 2 consecutive years.
Yes, for two
That's good.
consecutive
That actually
years.
proves that you have already performed well.
Yes.
Yeah.
So just a little bit about what the secretary does is that my mandate was to handle the communication, the membership, and the general outlook of the association, the brand. And in those 4 years, we've grown our membership from about 2,600. Now we're at about 4,900, almost 5,000.
Almost double.
Yes, and
Yeah.
now I feel people understand a bit better what the association does, and they engage with the association.
Yeah.
We have made a brand of the association so that now, in matters of policy, people come to us to give them our opinion, to give them our policy positions, and that is the impact that I have had as the honorary secretary.
Wonderful. I really wish you all the best.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Miss Marylyn Mumbua. I'm very sure it's definitely going to be President Marylyn Mumbua soon.
Thank you. Thank you, Shubhrika.
Thank you so much. So, ladies and gentlemen, here she is bidding for presidency of AAK, an architect and a wonderful mother. This is Shubhrika signing out.